I've got the ghetto blaster, so hopefully everyone can hear me. We'll wait for that train to go and then we'll get a bit of peace. It's probably late. Right, firstly, a big welcome to everyone who's come down today. For those that don't know me, my name's John Smith. I'm the CEO of GB Rail Freight. And there's a few people I'd just like to welcome as well. Mike O'Leary, who's the chairman of Ipswich Town, hurrah! Mark Ashton, who's currently the CEO. I think George Burley's here as well. Is George with us somewhere? Hi George, good to see you, chap. But also Phil Drury, a gentleman over here who's been a season ticket at Ipswich, season ticket holder for many years, and came up with this idea when he wrote to me about 6 months ago. So if I can just bore you a little bit about GB Rail Freight and the railways, and then we can get on to what matters, which is the football. GBRF has been around for about 20 years now. We started when we were involved with the passenger franchise that ran through here. There's a few old faces here, so if you remember the green trains that were called Anglia Railways, myself, no, you're not too young, Danny. Myself and this chap here called Tim Clark, who was my boss at the time, we ran the passenger railways, which was great fun back in its day, because it was a relatively small franchise. We were responsible for the fast trains coming up from Liverpool Street and all the local services, and that was the first time I worked in this particular lovely area of Suffolk, East Anglia and Norwich. We were developing the business back there. As I say, we started with only a few people. And one of the key markets we wanted to get into, because we sectorised what we do, was the deep sea market, intermodal. And most of you will know Port Felixstowe down the road from here. There's a number of people from there. Cheer from the Port Felixstowe mob. Yeah. It's not winded off again today, is it? Hopefully not. But we needed a customer. So I went looking around for customers, and we met this mob. Danny to my right here. MSC, cheers from the MSC mob. Do it again. All right, cheer from the MSC mob. Bit better, yeah. It's a bit noisier than Portman Road. At that stage, actually, there were only in and out of Felixstowe, for anyone who lives near the railway line, it won't feel like this, but there was only 13 trains a day of deep sea boxes. And now, today, since we started, there's now I think 38, and I'll be corrected by the mob from Felixstowe Services coming out a day. And it's a classic area where we're decarbonising the environment. If you look at any of our services, you'll see upwards up to 50 boxes carried on that. And as I now know the A14 implicitly from the number of times I have to drive over here, taking 38 times 50 boxes off that main road is no bad thing, and long may it continue, and we're looking to grow more. We now, I think, run 12 services for you, Danny, but throughout the UK we run about 50 intermodal services, but we do lots of other things. We take the fuel for British Airways to Heathrow Airport. We're delivering aggregates for all the main construction companies, and are likely to actually be bringing aggregates over to this neck of the woods for the construction of Sizewell that goes on. And we now employ people from as far north as Inverness, and we also run trains through the Channel Tunnel to France. We employ 1,500 souls. So a big cheer from the GB Rail Freight mob! Yeah, get in. That was louder than either the Ipswich Town or all the Ipswich fans though. Yeah, it's dismissible offence. But to railways, and the reason we're doing this, because there is some tradition. So I've worked in the industry since I was 16, for years now. And there's always been a tradition of naming trains, right the way through steam days to these days. And some of you will know, if you're not rail enthusiasts, some of you know the Mallard, Flying Scotsman, all famous names. So we've resurrected that, and you'll see the next Loco down was one we actually painted in with a ship on the side for MSC. It's called Sorrento, which was a lovely town that's a lot warmer than this at the moment, that MSC was founded in. But there was also a group of steam locomotives that were named after football clubs. And I decided, I guess it was me, about 15 years ago, wouldn't it be great to name one after my football team, which is Sunderland. Cheers from the Sunderland mob. Now there are a few. I've dragged them along at the back there. They are in the away end though, you'll be pleased to hear, Mark. we've managed to not put them in this hospitality. And there was a list of names, and it was London North Eastern Railway then, and they named quite a few of the clubs, but never Ipswich Town, bizarrely. So this is the first time. For those of you who have been to Carrow Road, should I swear in this presentation, you will see that actually Norwich come out under the original steam nameplate when they come out of their entrance there. So I'm hopeful that you'll stick this up, Mark, above your entrance, and next time Norwich are down, you can point out to them who is the better team down this neck of the woods. So, as I say, Phil over here, Phil Drury, came up with the idea, and I thought brilliant, because MSC have got involved with Ipswich Town as one of Ipswich's main sponsors. One of the things we do like to do at GB Rail Freight is have a bit of a do, and this was a classic example of where we could do that. Wedding the railways, the importance of getting crap off the A14 with MSC, and the work they've done with us, which I'm inordinately grateful for over the years, Danny. I think you know that most than most. So I'll shut up at that stage. That's the background to why we're here. Trains, football, and a bit of rail freight getting off the A14 as well. And on that note, Danny, I will invite you to say a few words. Danny Everett. Okay.
Thank you, John. That's a great speech, and thank you very much for everything you do for MSC. You can't help being a son of the plan. Seriously can't.
No, I can't.
I've got a few notes here because I just got a few thank yous that I just must ensure that we do. This is a celebration day, okay, and we need to celebrate the naming of this loco in partnership with GB Rail, but also Ipswich Town Football Club. I just want to thank you for your time on this afternoon, on a cold afternoon on a Friday. I also want to say thank you to Phil Drury, a lifetime rail enthusiast and Ipswich Town fan who's here today, which will have a few words, I'm sure. Because without him and his idea and writing to GB Rail, that this event actually may never have happened. So thank you for that initiative. Thank you for GB Rail for the commitment to make this happen. Okay, against all of these hopes of, it always just only being Sunderland, to come here and make this commitment. It does cost a lot of money to take these trains and make a lot of organisation, so thank you to you and your team, John. Thank you to Ipswich Town, okay, to Mark Ashton and the team that you have. You have a fantastic team, and supporting the community as much as you do, and also to come to these type of events, because I think it means a lot to our town. We are the pride of Anglia, so thank you.
Hey.
I also would like to say that we're really delighted to see the legend George Burley here as well. So,
Hey.
if you don't know George, you should do, because he had over 600 appearances as a professional player, playing for Ipswich between 1973 and 1985, including the time and the era of Sir Bobby Robson. During that era, Ipswich absolutely hammered Arsenal to win the FA Cup final in 1978. We also absolutely hammered all concerned and won the UEFA Cup in 1981, whilst this man was playing and in the squad. And I think we can give a big round of applause for this man, because he was only the manager as well in 1994-2002. So thank you for coming along, George. He did say he did play for who? The Sunderland as well. So anyway, so thanks for coming on and mentioning it. But Mark Ashton is really led from the front actually, and I had a great meeting with him, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But GB Rail, we have a special relationship actually that goes back to 22 years. We checked it out, and this goes from strength to strength. MSC are the largest container mover in and out of this country. We're the largest container mover in the world. 90% of all cargo that moves in and out around the world moves in containers. We're the largest. And we need to support our customers with the most efficient intermodal products. And train does that. Train offers us competitiveness, efficiency, and also CO2 emission benefits. We have the best supply chain models, we believe, in the country. And long may that continue. And that's down to the partnerships that are long and committed to, like we have with GB Rail. So I want to say thank you to you, John, and to the team. So thank you very much. We moved last year over 150,000 containers with GB Rail, and we're actually delighted with that commitment on an ongoing basis. So today I'm honoured to feel that we're witnessing another milestone in this special relationship, John. So thank you. Ipswich Town Football Club. Now you may have guessed that I'm an Ipswich Town fan and always have been and always will be. Ipswich till I die. Okay. I am. I'm really passionate about it, and I go back into the era of watching George play, with Mickey Mills and Kevin Beattie and all that era. I just wish I could have had any talent at all to be able to play on Portman Road, but at least we've got our emblem of the company who I represent actually on the pitch now, so that's one thing. But our partnership with Ipswich Town has been blossoming, and it has since I had met this man actually in 2021, mid-table League One, and we have, as MSC, we have over 1,000 people working in our company. We're a family company, we're very proud of everything and we're proud of our community. And we've got our HQ in Ipswich, over nearly 800 people, and the majority of them are Ipswich Town fans. And I can tell you now, they're buying Ipswich Town shirts like they're going out of fashion, I tell you. So that's one thing that, that's another added benefit, I can tell you. But Mark agreed with us that we needed to work together in the community, do something special. So he came up with the idea, I think, and we supported with the official training and benchwear of the men's team, but also, because we're all about equality, we've got the girls, all ages, the Elite Training Centre. We're really proud of both those commitments, and long may that continue. The Tractor Boys are doing fantastically well. 2023 was a remarkable year. I think the whole town is erupting around what you, Mark, and the team are doing, and what the coaching team are doing. And I think we all know a song called Super Kira McKenna as well. We must say that he's doing a great job in getting them all together. Long may this continue, and long may it continue tomorrow. We have a reasonable. There is. 2023 was one of the best years in our history. 2024, I must stress, we're unbeaten. Ipswich Town are unbeaten. John, are you unbeaten in 2024?
That's not cool.
That's not. But you had 5. Jibs at Ipswich Town. I think I counted them. Okay, so I'm having one hit on that. Okay, you can carry on, Mark, when you're going as well. Okay, so let the best team win tomorrow. Those on a serious note, long as it's Ipswich Town. So finishing up a little bit here. So Bobby Robson, okay, was the person that I sort of loved, and so many people did around the local area. And I believe that he, in his North Stand, as I used to call it, the Bobby Robson stand. It says two things about the club. It talked about a sense of belonging. It talked about passion. That's what a club's about. And I believe, genuinely, and after meeting Mark and the team that he's put together, and the team that's going on the field, as well as GB Rail, and the spirit and the values of MSC, that we've got 3 great organisations that have those ingredients. On that note, that partnership continue to flourish. The 3 of us. Okay? Let this locomotive be a wonderful reminder of this remarkable day, because this is something to celebrate. I just want to thank you all very much. I'm going to pass you over to Mark Ashton now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself and my colleagues, Chairman Mike, we're delighted to be here and honoured that you're recognising the football club in such a fashion. When we took over the football club 2.5 years ago, and I have to tell you it feels a lot longer than that, we talked about building a football club that sat at the heart of its local community, and that mantra has not moved. We want to rebuild this amazing football club and take it back to where we think it belongs, but we can't do that on our own. So to do that, we have to engage with our local community, and whether that's supporters, businesses, local authorities, stakeholders, commercial stakeholders, we can only rebuild this amazing football club with everyone's support. This football club is too big for us to do it on our own. It has an amazing heritage and tradition, and it's a heritage and tradition that we need to love and respect. But we also have to focus on the now, and we have to focus on the future. The football club is an amazing brand. The sport of football is an amazing brand which can impact and affect its local community. We have wide-ranging community activities built into our newly launched foundation that I genuinely believe can impact and will impact lives of many, many people in this town moving football forward. But again, I reiterate, we can't do it on our own. So to have partners such as GB Rail, to have my good friend here and all his colleagues here, MSC, working with us, with them supporting both our men's and our women's team, it's a key part of what we want to do and what we have to do to rebuild your amazing football club. I've just seen a gentleman in a red scarf. That's outrageous. You know, we talked about what I would say today, and those who work with me know that I have bad West Bromwich banter, and we talked about these will be difficult games coming up, keeping us on track, putting us back on the rails. Come on, you got to get the thing. But genuinely, we're just so honoured that you've recognised the football club in this way, and I think, you know, this locomotive being named in honour of the football club is something that will, you know, move forward. Will move into the future with the club's name and brand, but it will also move with the values that we have at the football club. And our values are built on integrity. Integrity is a very simple thing for me. Do the right thing when no one else is looking. It's driven into our staff, it's driven into our manager, it's driven into our players, and we drive that into the work we do with our local community. I think the future's bright. A successful football club will lead to an economical, successful Ipswich town. Full stop. That will happen. I believe we're still in the very early stages of this journey, but we are moving this football club forward, and we're moving it forward at an electric pace. But again, we can't do that on our own. So thank you again to MSC, GB Rail for all their support. They're integral partners for the football club. We thank the local community, we thank all of you for being here today, and we're absolutely honoured to have this locomotive named after your wonderful football club. Thank you.
Now just a few words from Phil before he asks both Mike and Mark to unveil the thing. Just one story though, for you. One of the problems is we have some Norwich City train drivers and they've got to drive this, so that is extremely painful. We have a chap called Dave Watson who's a Newcastle fan at Felixstowe, and when the loco named Sunderland he has to drive it, he hates it with a passion. But having said that, Philip, if you'd like to say a few words.
Yes, it's an honour and privilege for me to be here today. I've been supporting Ipswich nearly 70 years, and I've been a rail enthusiast for 69 of those, I suppose. What used to bug me as a youngster train spotting at Colchester was the fact that Norwich City, on a steam locomotive, trundled through the station nearly every day I went train spotting. Only lasted for 5 years, and they scrapped the locomotive, thank goodness, and all the reminders that there was no Ipswich town had disappeared, or so I thought, because a year later my father bought our first television set, and I started to watch all the Sunday afternoon football matches on Anglia television, usually Ipswich Town, Norwich City, and above the entrance, as you've already heard, at Currow Road, there is the nameplate from the old steam locomotive, Norwich City. And it's bugged me ever since, and I thought, I've got to do something about this while I'm still alive. And I wrote to John Smith because GB Rail Freight, the biggest, most successful rail freight company in this country at the moment, they name lots of locomotives, and they have 6 named after football teams already. So I wrote, and here we are today. Just a few words for our dear friend 66307. I suppose it falls upon me to welcome this locomotive to its new adopted home here in Ipswich. And from today, as you travel around the country, especially when you pass through Ipswich, either hauling intermodal trains to and from the port of Felixstowe, or especially if you venture across the border into Norfolk on the North Walsham tanks, wear your new name with pride, because you are the pride of East Anglia. You are Ipswich Town!